Breakpoint, 15 countries, 12 finalists, one amazing vision. Empower Caribbean companies to take on export markets. Over 13 weeks, we meet more than 30 companies selected from over 15 Caribbean countries. We follow their journey, from their first coaching sessions at the University of the West Indies School of Business in Barbados, where they not only learn the fundamentals of business communication, but have all of their presentations individually reviewed and critiqued by business development educators. Amazing advice, unparalleled insight. Dedicated entrepreneurs vying to convince 4 judges to choose their company to be among the 12 finalists who travel to London to make their final pitch in front of angel investors, distributors and retailers that could change their future and move them forward. Last week on Breakpoint.
In terms of the competitive landscape locally, where do you feel?
I'm not too sure.
Caribbean music needs to go digital.
We're about to establish a shop at Amazon.com.
The regional judges viewed presentations from 4 budding entrepreneurs vying to win the chance to pitch to venture capitalists in London. Who will it be? The emotive eco-tourism managing director building on the legacy of her father? The passionate jeweler who wants to break into Europe? The visionary producer of all-natural bath and body products? Or the upbeat music downloads director? Facing a tough decision, the judges decided upon Keith Shepherd from Christian Freeze Jewelry.
To begin with, I was a tiny bit nervous, but by the end of it, I was in full flow. Everything was absolutely brilliant.
Breakpoint, a Caribbean export development agency initiative to assist innovative entrepreneurs to break into Europe.
Entering into the EU market is very significant because it opens up very great opportunities for us.
For the region to see what we are producing as well, I think is really important.
A regional competition showcasing Caribbean products and industry.
My company is West Indies Gypsum Company Limited.
Supplements, medicinal herbal teas,
jams, jellies, pepper sauces.
And Arlene Martin Design produces the label Journal Luna.
Giving training and valuable expertise.
Still, I'm not sure what she's selling.
It discredits everything else you said.
I think you're going to make it successful.
Creating a catalyst to take the Caribbean to the world.
Showing something that is authentically Caribbean.
The one thing I want everyone to know about my product is it's simply the best.
Here are the judges for Breakpoint. 6 of the most enterprising and successful businessmen and women in the Caribbean. Today, they're about to make or break the dreams of these budding entrepreneurs. These leading business people bring years of experience to the table. Preeminent business leader Dr. Basil Springer was a consultant to the Caribbean Development Bank and established the Caribbean Business Enterprise Trust Inc. Awarded the Barbados Gold Crown of Merit in 2000, Dr. Springer is also a motivational speaker and provides workshops on his management of business matrix.
I've had a lot of experience over the last 12 years in enterprise development. So when I was asked by the Caribbean Export to participate as a judge in this very interesting exercise, I could not refuse.
Joseph Mathalon has a wealth of experience in the business world. As the owner and principal of Jamaica management consultancy firm CSL Projects, he is an expert in restructuring businesses to improve logistics and efficiency.
I found it was very, very interesting, a very useful program. It gave me an opportunity to mentor some of the young upcoming entities in the region.
Genevieve Jodhan is the Executive Manager of Export and Business Development at one of the world's leading manufacturers of rum and bitters, Angostura Limited. She is currently the only female logistician in the Caribbean.
I agreed to be a judge at Breakpoint because of my experience in trading with the EU markets and having first-hand knowledge of how difficult it is to actually stay in the market once you enter.
Alan Burzynski is Managing Director of preeminent Grenadian retailer Jonas Brown & Hubbard. Well versed to advise our candidates, he is a past president of the Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce.
I am always very impressed to see Caribbean people who have the entrepreneurial spirit.
CEO of leading advertising agency Freestyle Inc., Kenny Green's diverse portfolio also includes co-founder and director of mobile content provider Pixon Phones and director of Nature Isle Realty.
I felt that it was an excellent opportunity to lend some of my experience to the program and also to get an understanding of what is going on around the region in terms of people building capacity to be able to go into other markets.
Notable investment and securities dealer Christopher Williams is the co-founder and CEO of Proven Investments Limited, a multi-million-dollar investment company. He was also deputy chairman of the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
I chose to be a judge in Breakpoint because of the opportunity that it presents, not just for the region, but for the individual entrepreneurs to develop. And I think that what we're trying to do here is really build a generation of entrepreneurs that will last way beyond our lifetime. And so my ability to participate in that process is something that you just can't say no to.
Together, they will decide who will go forward. Will any of today's hopeful entrepreneurs win the opportunity to pitch in London? Let's now take a look at the criteria for Breakpoint. The candidate must show a clear opportunity for the product in the market. The firm must demonstrate a competitive level of product innovation. There must be a compelling position on which to build the brand. The product must be in a position to benefit from the advantages of the EPA. The firm must be able to show market readiness for entry in less than 6 months, and the candidate must be able to show industry knowledge and possess management and leadership experience. The first step for the budding entrepreneurs was to submit a video pitch to Breakpoint. The successful firms then participated in a preparatory session at Cave Hill School of Business in Barbados. FaceTime with top mentors who analysed their business model and advised them on preparing their pitch. The Biotech R&D Institute is a research and agro-processing firm based in Jamaica. It aims to commercialise products from Jamaican indigenous plant resources. Deputy CEO Charlene Ashley explains.
The Biotech R&D Institute is a company which focuses on research and in turn commercializing nutraceuticals. So we produce a line of supplements, medicinal herbal teas, and we'll be entering the market with a line of sports drinks and porridges in the short order.
The Biotech R&D Institute was established as an innovation vehicle for the development and commercialization of Jamaica's indigenous medicinal resources. In December of 2010, Biotech launched Jamaica's first nutraceutical line under the Eden Gardens brand. The product line is projected to expand to include functional foods such as flavored porridges and sports drinks that help promote general wellness. Biotech is eager to expand services to the global platform. Biotech and you, enhancing the quality of people's lives through innovation.
Jamaican design powerhouse Arlene Martin Design is the parent company of clothing label Drenaluna. Company founder Arlene Martin explains the history of the firm.
Right now we design, market, manufacture just one label, which is Drenaluna, and we hope to have another label which is more Caribbean in feel and theme, aesthetic, and we've actually done the brand development work for that label. We've actually reached our milestones as far as retail boutiques for Drenaluna in Jamaica, so we're trying to expand now to additional resort outlets in Jamaica, and the thrust for us now really is to expand by exporting. Drenaluna is different from the competitors actually because of the simple elegance in terms of the simple silhouettes that it provides. The simplicity and the sophistication makes it easily transcend to a classic piece for the wearer. Internationally, I'm presently in the southeast of the US through online sales. I should be able to finance orders for up to 10 boutiques internationally, and that could increase with order financing in another 6 to 12 months.
Factoid about the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA. The EPA encourages regional integration by offering all benefits not only to the European Union, but also within the Caribbean region. We have 2 more candidates to meet when we return on Breakpoint. Back at Biotech R&D Institute, Charlene was confident that the originality of her product would ensure her success in Breakpoint.
We will be one of the 12 Breakpoint finalists because our products are very innovative, they're novel. We boast the only scientifically proven nutraceuticals using Caribbean herbs.
Traditionally, medicinal plants have been used in the Caribbean and globally for health management and disease management. Based on previous research done over the past 40 years, and based on the growing demand for nutraceuticals, a group of scientists and entrepreneurs, headed by Dr. Henry Lowe, took the decision to enter the nutraceutical market. And thus, the Biotech R&D Institute was formed. Our business model is designed to ensure first mover advantage and maneuverability, as well as fast speed to market, which is evidenced by research, which is in the center of all we do. All our products are extensively researched and have been market proven. We ensure shortened production lead time through the use of experienced contract manufacturers, and we also ensure that they have production capacity to meet our projections.
Charlene's presentation was in full swing, but business coach Michael Callender warned against sweeping statements that could be misleading.
Our products meet the highest international standards, inclusive of FDA and CGMP.
The impression that was conveyed was that your product was FDA approved. And they made a note of it here because they know the FDA don't approve supplements.
And that's why it would be a bad thing, because if you have a judge or an investor that is going to hear that, then they're going to say, okay, well, nothing, it discredits everything else you said. What is going to make the final customer choose your product over another product?
There's some people who don't want to take a capsule, and so we have medicinal herbal teas. It's not just herbal teas. Our flavors include guinea hen weed, soursop, and ginger and busy.
You are pushing and promoting a product that is unknown to an international audience. You might say, well, this is a particular plant that's been tested by the Jamaican Institute or whatever, as the case may be. You spoke confidently, and I thought that was you, and you seem to have a pretty good grasp of the business that you're doing. So from my position, I thought you should be congratulated for that.
The coaching session went very well. It reinforced a lot of the positive points, and it gave me some good pointers of things that I could add. So I was pretty pleased with it.
Jamaican designer Arlene Martin also recognized the significance of her Caribbeanness as a unique selling point.
For Breakpoint and it being a regional initiative, I think it's good to have a bit of Caribbean flavor and some Caribbean diversity, showing something that is authentically Caribbean. And one of those authentic Caribbean products that's really in demand at this moment is clothing. But what happens globally with fashion is the average wearer, and particularly the retailers, are usually looking for new product, new design. And the hottest thing now basically in this industry is always identifying emerging design talent. And what's been happening more recently is not just emerging talent from their local markets, but emerging international design talent. And so the export focus is tied in pretty well with what the market is looking for, which is international design talent, but they're also looking for authentic international products that has indigenous products, whether it's the material in terms of the fabric, trims, or the fact that it's actually made in that international territory. So those are some of the factors in terms of what's happening globally. And to provide this design product, this fashion product to the market, it's not just about the design, but they really want to know that if they get it today, they can get it for the next season and the following year. So it's also about the company and having a good, strong company behind a really marketable design product. And I do think that Joanna Luna's fresh and sophisticated design would offer that to the retailers and to their clients. And to really contribute to the story once it's there, it's not just the product, but the label itself. And Arlene Martin, as a designer myself, I'm one of the leading emerging Caribbean designers, still being a new label in the market. So it's a good story to transition and tell to their clients in that market as well.
You generally do not get that wonderful combination when you have people who are designers who've gone into business for themselves, that they have the business training, the business background, and they can back it up. And you certainly speak the business language, so that's excellent. Because what you were looking at, what you were selling, basically, is design, you still want to have a design flair.
This is an example in terms of something that has a cape, but how it's constructed and what makes it different is, rather than being an added piece, it's actually made into one garment. So even though something might have been seen in the market before, a lot of the silhouettes are fairly original, and I try to do that with silhouettes.
Arlene had done well at her presentation, but business coach Marjorie Wharton encouraged her to play more to her strengths.
The kind of emotion that you get from the next slide with the person smiling, you want to be able to engender that in us as we look up there and see that, we look over and see you, and then I could see myself in that. I could buy that for my wife, my sister, my daughter, whoever. You can see if they're male judges that they can be saying that. Whatever you were talking about before this, you were talking about the excellent fit, the silhouette, and how wonderful it is. And that's your basic ordinary presentation. And then you flip to that slide, and it's like, ooh. We were over here going like, and the image, it conveys the versatility, it conveys all that you were saying about the product. If you intend to push the Drenaluna, the investors are going to want to know that there is, if you're the key designer, that there's a strong management team backing you up, and that everything isn't just you. I know right now it's okay because it's still relatively new and so on, but you need to be able to show the longevity. More and more, if you are going out into the international market, you are going to have to go sell the brand.
My coaching session went very well, I would say. What I really appreciated about it was they paid attention to just about every detail, and the feedback was very, very useful.
The West Indies Gypsum Company manufactures wallboard and ceiling tiles and utilizes indigenous gypsum resources. The features of their gypsum tiles include being fire-resistant, non-toxic, and non-carcinogenic. Their managing director is Brian Walks.
My name is Brian Walks. I'm from Jamaica, and my company is West Indies Gypsum Company Limited. We manufacture gypsum and cement. The reason that we think that we can be competitive is that we would be putting our product right in the market. We feel that we are ready to expand into the European market.
Who will learn from their experiences as they prepare for their regional pitches on Breakpoint. We now move to the Bahamas, to an agro-processing business. Ridge Farms produces authentically Bahamian condiments and sauces. Company owner Rionda Gaudet was feeling upbeat about her chances with Breakpoint.
I'm Rionda Gaudet of Ridge Farms from the Bahamas. We do jams, jellies, pepper sauces. We're excited about the opportunity to be here for the Caribbean Breakpoint Expo.
Hello, I'm Rionda, and welcome to the kitchen of Ridge Farms. Here at Ridge Farms, our motto is, we be jamming straight from the field direct to your kitchen. That's our statement of assurance to you that all of our products are made fresh. Back in 2009, when we launched this business, our target audience was the domestic market. Happily, we've grown to the point where at least 80% of all of our products are targeted for the tourist market. I need your help in advancing to the next level. I'd like to be the Bahamas' premier, major, and first exporter of manufactured goods.
Back at Cave Hill School of Business, Managing Director of West Indies Gypsum Company Brian Walks felt he had the skills necessary to proceed in Breakpoint.
I think that presentation skills are learned, and I have been exposed to a lot of the pointers dealing with presentation.
We have a distinctive brand name, Tough Rock. We would like to have a niche market distribution. We certainly cannot go for the mass market. So we want to be able to specialize in targeting basically a smaller type of a developer. So it is really the niche market distribution channel. We have achieved market standard quality, and the feedback that we've got is that, hey, you've got a good product.
I would actually like to start the feedback by asking you to please take off your shades.
Next time I'll wear my clear glasses. Never thought about it.
Whoever you are there presenting to, you have to sell to them, because a distributor may decide there are 12 possible companies I can choose from.
Right.
So why do I choose this one over that one?
My coaching session was very, very good, and it will certainly improve my presentation skills.
Meanwhile, back at Ridge Farms, Rionda was feeling confident at the start of her pitch.
Just to have someone look at my business is a huge statement. So I think I'm in the right place at the right time. I'm excited about my product, and I'm really hoping to do great things with it.
What Ridge Farms has to offer is a phenomenal opportunity for people to enjoy the foods they're eating as a healthy alternative. We make jams and jellies and pepper sauces. Our products are the most expensive on the shelf here because we're healthy, all natural, homemade, from scratch. Just like how Mom used to do it, absolutely no preservatives. So the problem that we're trying to address is getting great tasting food for the diaspora of Caribbean people who want to taste the food wherever it is that they're situated, as well as we want to be able to provide a healthy alternative for people who just want the good taste. Because our products have absolutely no preservatives, we have to make sure that the shipping process is fast, it gets to you on time. So there are critical time components, and we need to partner with the right shippers and the right people to make that happen.
But Coach Brian Toppin was concerned with the shelf life and shipping requirements of importing fresh products into Europe.
You want to bring your fresh products to the European market. How long will they last? What is the shipping requirements? Will these have to be put on a boat that is refrigerated? Can it go in a regular container? If it goes in a regular container, how long is that? So I'm not asking you to answer these questions now.
Yes.
I am simply providing you with all of the answers.
Thank you for your question.
I think you have very, very good content. You did your research. You have a lot of relevant information. I think you can compact it a bit to be a bit more on point.
Why do you want the judges or the investors in London to invest in you?
I want someone to invest, and I'm prepared to give them a stake in my business as well.
Thank you very much.
I gotta tell you, well, Rionda, you need to slow it down. Yes, we get your passion, so I have to contain the passion and take my time and speak slowly so the passion ignites and can actually be understood.
With all the training done and dusted, the candidates moved forward with their new skills to the regional pitches which took place in 3 countries, Barbados, St. Lucia and Jamaica. Today we focus on the regional pitches in Jamaica, starting with biotech. At Biotech R&D Institute, Charlene had taken full advantage of the valuable pointers gained from her coaches in the preliminary round.
I prepared for my session today by going through a few more coaching sessions, making a few edits to the presentation that had been previously done in Barbados, and so I felt pretty confident. Good morning, gentlemen, madam. I am Charlene Ashley, the Deputy CEO of the Biotech R&D Institute. We have seasoned operations, sales, and marketing teams experienced in retail and production, complemented by consultants and an advisory committee comprised of knowledgeable local and international personnel. What is the driving force behind our product designs? Research has shown that there's a prevalence of non-communicable chronic diseases. For example, prostate cancer. In the UK, there are in excess of 36,000 new cases occurring each year. And in Europe, 1.5 million new cases of prostate cancer each year. Our team has developed 9 supplements which are currently on the market. Our product line uses well-researched baseline ingredients. These include the guinea hen weed and Bahamas, which are present in our lead product, Alpha Prostate, and our complementary teas. We've also developed a diabetic supplement containing bitter melon, as well as other supplements which promote health and wellness. It was found that the Jamaican yellow yam and sweet potato contained a very unique profile, which provides a burst of energy with the consistent, slow release of sugars needed for sustained performance. As such, we have created a formulation using the sweet potato and the Jamaican yellow yam as baseline ingredients for a line of porridges and or energy sports drinks. The Ingans brand represents products rewarding customers with rich and wholesome experiences. The brand offers maximum care for one's health. Our packaging designs are simple yet confident, bearing the earthy feel of something organic and the confidence of color which allows it to merchandise well, while reinforcing a brand that is trustworthy, reliable, and caring.
Charlene was putting on a convincing pitch, but Jamaican judge Joseph Matalon felt she needed to further stress the uniqueness of her Jamaican product.
I think that you have perhaps hit on a very important aspect of the product, and that is the fact that it is Jamaican and the fact that Jamaican athletes are at the top of the world. I don't think you have captured that adequately in your market.
Where do you already have distribution in EU markets?
So only in the UK, and as we said, that is one of the major objectives for us here. We have identified a number of distributors, as in we have researched them, we understand where they have penetrated, etc. And then what we want to do, of course, is to further our negotiations with them.
Here's something you might not have known about the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA. The EPA has resulted in predictability in market access into the European Union, the largest import market for goods and services. Who will hold it together under pressure when we come back on Breakpoint? Although Jamaican designer Arlene Martin delivered a well-thought-out pitch, preliminary coaches felt she needed to play more to her strengths and focus on her business plan. Will she be ready for her regional pitch?
In terms of preparations for today, other than reviewing the presentation itself a couple of times, I had to look back at my business plan and think through the plans that I have coming up a little bit more, so that it was just spending more time with my business plan really, which is something that I hadn't done in a couple of months. What I'd like everyone to know about Drenaluna is that it offers new classics, interesting silhouettes that fit really well. Good day, my name is Arlene Martin. I'm with Arlene Martin Design. It is a company in the fashion and apparel industry based in Jamaica. And the company does design, marketing, and management of labels, fashion labels. The first label that we have is Drenaluna. Drenaluna does women's wear, and it is women's wear primarily in terms of the core clothing type, special occasion, and resort wear. And the wearer for Drenaluna is typically a confident woman who has her own sense of style based on her sense of self and her accomplishments. Drenaluna is currently available in Jamaica in 2 boutiques, one in Kingston and one in Montego Bay. Within the next 12 months, I'd actually like to be selling to 2 international markets. And within the 12-month period, as I mentioned, I would like to sell 200 units. Over the next 5 years, annually, I'd like to be selling 1,200 units in the international market, and these are for Drenaluna units only. The sales model that I'll be pursuing to do this is a mix. So I would be doing direct sales to the boutiques. I'd also be working with showrooms and sales representatives who usually work with these boutiques, as well as doing online sales.
It's always good to see another, Caribbean line for ladies. You mentioned that you're doing online in the USA now.
Correct.
Do you want to give us an idea of how many units you would have sold through that online?
Well, it's very new, and the person actually started in January, and I started with that person with the launch. That boutique is focused on designers from Asia Pacific and Caribbean region, and we've sold to them in 2 orders, less than 100 units.
But Jamaican judge Christopher Williams was concerned about the numbers.
These numbers don't sound very large to me,
All right.
Is that just me, or is that...
No, it's not.
With 200
What's the
units,
value of the units?
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Even they sell a unit for $100, which I don't know. That sounds like an expensive dress to me, but I don't know.
You have been dressing many women.
But that does. Is that a business model that that you can sink your teeth in? That's my first concern.
The units that I put there are conservative, and I did mention that this is for the Drenaluna label only, because the Drenaluna label is the only one that is currently launched. I'm planning to launch another label within 12 months as well, which is at a different price point, and at a lower price point, you would be selling more quantities. Drenaluna is a designer product, and so selling to boutiques, sometimes they may order as little as 8. A minimum order quantity might be between 8 and 12. And so to achieve that, you have to sell to a number of boutiques, which is an expensive venture. So I'd like to focus on selling maybe 50 units per order to a specific set. And with this being the very first time and being an international person, I don't expect significant orders within. It's really, when I say 12 months, it's in a period between now and September, with sales trips that I have already scheduled basically. So it's fairly conservative, and this is because it is in a boutique category, and knowing that sometimes boutique sales are fairly limited.
Back at the Jamaican nutraceutical company Biotech, Charlene was getting down to hard facts.
We've experienced sales figures in excess of 114,000 euros within the first 2 months of going to market. Our overall projected sales within the next 5 years is at 119 million euros, with a planned penetration level of 0.01%. We have completed our packaging designs and redesigns, research and formulations, marketing plans and strategies, and contract manufacturer agreements are currently in place. Our patents and copyrights have already been submitted. We're currently in discussions with some distributors. As can be seen, the Biotech R&D Institute, through the Edengans nutraceutical brand, is indeed ready for market. You will do well in partnering with the Biotech R&D Institute. investments, and partnership with our product line will see your investments moving like boat.
It was a solid pitch, but Dominican judge Kenneth Green wanted to know further details.
You had a slide on competition,
yes,
but you did not expound on who your competition is at current in the markets that you're looking to get into,
right,
and what your appreciation is of what you have to do to differentiate yourself from them.
Right. One of the major things that we have seen, for example, with, I'll speak to the supplements as well as the teas, they look very, very generic. When you look in the market, all the products look very similar. The pricing lines are very similar and the ingredients are similar. And so for us, we understand very clearly the differentiation point in our formulation, but also we want to ensure that when persons walk into the pharmacy, walk into the supermarket, they're able to distinguish our brand from the other brands. We understand that some of them also do have significant parent companies, and so that they will have a stronger marketing dollar. And that's why we're here today, to see if we can get investment and partnerships. Thank you very much. My session with the judges today was pretty interesting, less rigorous than I had expected. I thought they would have been asking a lot of questions about the financials and the projections that we had in the various markets. They spoke a lot about our patents and the differentiators in our products, which of course is a natural to us because we are very confident in our products, the differentiator in our nutraceuticals as well as our teas, and of course the porridges and our sports drinks with the tubers, the yellow yam, the sweet potato, which has been proven to contribute to the Jamaicans' athletic prowess. So it was good. It was a good session.
At the West Indies Gypsum Company, Brian had picked up lots of pointers from his coaching session, including the removal of his shades, and was ready for his regional pitch.
Going into the judges now, I feel very confident. I think I've been well prepared. Thanks very much to Marjorie Wharton from Barbados, who gave me very good preparatory background work. The brand that we're pushing is Tough Rock. It's a cement veneer plaster, and it works. We have been manufacturing for the last 12 years. Basically, we started with gypsum, which is an indigenous resource here in Jamaica, and we process it into plaster of Paris. The European market is a very large market with regards to gypsum products because most of the finishing is gypsum wall boards, and therefore what they need is a finish over the gypsum wall boards. Because of the new form of finishing, they don't have this product, which is the cement veneer plaster. In fact, there is only one company during our research in Spain that has started to produce this plaster about 6 months ago.
You all have conducted research in Spain in terms of, like what that market could be for you?
We're looking to get a leverage into either the United Kingdom and Spain at the beginning because they know this product and they're using it, they're starting to use it. We have had this product on our walls here in Jamaica for 5 years before we put it out into the market. And it has gone through 3 hurricanes. So we can attest to the fact that it can stand up to the market conditions. The competition right now, basically, it's coming from the Middle East. Turkey and Egypt, they have those types of resources of white cement. But it is not, except for one company in Spain that we have researched, it is not being produced right now in Europe.
Brian was performing well under pressure, but Jamaican judge Christopher Williams was concerned with the competitive landscape.
I hear you mentioned that there are no competitors now, but the minute you step into this space, I assume somebody's going to respond. And so you're just going to be competing on price from there on in?
Yes, I wouldn't say that there are no competitors. There are competitors in the Middle East and those types of places, and there's a company already in Spain. But there's always a need for niche marketing. We're looking for a reliable marketer and a sales alliance in the United Kingdom or in Spain that understands the market. The only way I think that we as a small manufacturer can get in there is to align ourselves with a person who can supply and satisfy these types of product finishes to small developers. We think that we have a great opportunity we're ready to export and we want to make a deal. Just signing a bottom line. Thank you very much.
And you didn't quantify how much financing you need. I guess you will tell us something in a bit. But also it seems you've resonated over and over again that you're seeking partners who can help leverage you. So is that something that is almost as key as the financing is, to be able to bridge relationships in those markets?
Definitely. The most important thing is to find a partner who understands the market and who's a distributor.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. My experience with the judges was very good. I think they were experienced business persons and they asked questions that were relevant to the whole business proposal. But I had done quite a bit of research in this product and in the market, so I think that I was very well prepared to answer their questions, and I think I answered them in a very competent manner. And they appear to be satisfied. So I think it went very well. I believe that I will be one of the finalists in Breakpoint.
Find out next who has the skills and the product necessary to proceed in Breakpoint. At Rich Farm's training session, Rionda's pitch was high in energy, but coaches were concerned with her repetition and speed of delivery.
Generally, I speak 1,000,000 miles a minute, but then I had to slow it down and I had to condense my presentation. And so I think I'm good to go. Good afternoon, honorary panel. My name is Rionda Cadet, and I'm the proprietor of Rich Farms. Well, I made tomato sauces, lots and lots of tomato sauces, and the feedback I got was so awesome that the growth of those tomato sauces grew to salsas, and then the salsas grew to pepper sauces and jams and pepper jellies, and since then to now, there's been no turning back. We've happily managed to contain costs. Rich Farms is absolutely debt-free in a good way and holding good profits. Distribution channels too are wide-ranging. Whether or not we distribute our channels from the internet through online sales, high street merchant stores, specialty restaurants and the like, we're definitely accessible. Projections and milestones, we're counting on our investor to see the value in our business, and with the same, we expect to increase our volume by 50% within the first 3 months. Obviously, being introduced to the European community ramps up the need for demand, so our production will have to increase. We will increase our hours of operation from a part-time scenario, certainly looking forward to the opportunity of maximizing the benefit of a full-time operation. And once you're in the European community, it's certainly the ease of access.
It's an impressive start, but Jamaican Judge Joseph Matalon questioned her means of expansion.
Your product is primarily handmade at the moment.
Yes, sir.
With the growth in demand, would you be able to provide the raw material from the Bahamas in addition to the necessary equipment to increase the scale of your production in a relatively short period of time?
Absolutely.
And so how?
Absolutely. And just amazingly, today, the Caribbean Export Development Agency launched its June call for the regular grant for assistance, and definitely my target goal is I'm going to apply for assistance to ramp up, to move toward that automated process. And that can be done pretty easily. I've already determined the source of my equipment. I need just some help in paying for it. I'm just working smart along that line.
You know what Breakpoint is about?
Yes, sir.
What are you asking them to provide you with?
I'm asking for my investor to not only invest financial subsistence, and I'm thinking along the line of $250,000, but honestly to invest time and expertise, mentorship, touch time, quality time in developing what will honestly be an exceptional product that they will be proud of.
Taste the time.
Now the sauces are what we're talking about here. Now we're going to start you off kind of mild because I don't know what your thresholds are. But the Sangalucan is a blend of onion, sweet pepper, tamarind with the jalapeno sauce, so she's nice and mild. Finally, our
Chris, that hit you
That's
hard,
a real pepper sauce.
It's nice. Can I have some more of the pineapple?
Yes, sir.
Can you leave the
We like
leave all the samples?
It's lunchtime, you know. That's for the appetite.
Yes. All right, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something. Rich Farms already has an exceptional product.
We already have proven international acceptance and we are poised for success. Being young and energetic simply means that we still have some opportunity to learn. What we're looking for is an investor to take us to the next level, an investor to mentor us, to see the value that there is in our organization, the growth and the potential is just huge out of the box. And what do we have to offer? Up to 40% of all European community net profit. And I'm looking forward with your assistance in taking this business to the next level. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thanks.
That was an exceptional presentation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your kindness.
And I can't believe you memorized it all.
But for the grace of God.
Yeah, that was amazing. And all the nervousness and negativity that I have surrounding this very competitive market have simply eroded because of your energy.
Thank you, Mr. Christopher.
So I think you can take it on. I don't even know what you're gonna sell, but you can sell it. I think you can sell it. You know? So I don't have any questions. I'm in. You know? I don't know. Whatever it is, I think you're gonna make it successful.
I think my time with the judges really went very well. I answered all their questions. I was pretty hyped up, and I thought the energy in the room was pretty good. So I feel good about it.
After a solid start to her regional presentation, Arlene was keen to show the underlying magic of her brand.
What is the underlying magic for Adrena Luna clothing in terms of why it's different? One of the things about the clothing is innovative silhouettes and construction, things that are typically different. With this, for example, it has a cape effect here, and typically with a construction, to get something like that, you usually have seams, and this is a seamless construction, while it has a peep element to the back. So there is usually something unique and different in the garment construction and in the design itself. But one of the features of Adrena Luna clothing as well is the fit of the garment. And so you typically have a very good fit, and that's one of the very important selling points or unique features. I participated in the Caribbean collections during London Fashion Week in February of this year. So there is a story behind that, being one of 6 regional designers who participated in that and participating in Caribbean Fashion Week and a number of other things. And essentially, as I mentioned before, there is a special occasion as well as resort wear. So the primary message and push in terms of the Adrena Luna offer with an export-led focus for these markets is providing authentic resort wear from a resort destination.
But Dominique and Judge Kenneth Green demanded more details and hard facts.
You mentioned that you had a showing at London Fashion Week, but you didn't give any kind of, you didn't articulate whether there was any feedback.
Okay. For London, it's still fairly exploratory for me, but as I mentioned, what we have done is the survey to the boutiques and stylists, which is so far positive. The media response was positive. There were probably about 8 features coming out of it, including a very small piece on Vogue Italia, but that is important for us, and it's just a matter of follow-up now with those boutiques that we've shortlisted following that. In terms of marketing, what I'll be doing to get to the boutiques is direct targeting and communication. I'll be doing that through electronic communications, which is sending out electronic kits to designers, or rather to the boutiques, but also in-market visits. In terms of the boutique targeting, there is research that goes into that as well, based on who the customer is and the price point. You first find out, once you've identified city, what are the specific areas that someone would normally shop and what boutiques. In terms of competition, my consideration for competition is basically a similar aesthetic in the same channel, and it can be independent or well-established labels, but it really is dependent on the aesthetic. And as an example, this is a regional magazine, and what this is the editor's choice for resort wear in 2011. And in the red boxes are Adrena Luna pieces and comparable designers, so that someone can easily see in terms of a competitive set aesthetically where it is that the Adrena Luna clothing and the label would fit for the Adrena Luna woman. In terms of the team, I'm the designer, so I usually design the collections. And although I do the general management, in terms of some specific activities, the accounting is outsourced, so is public relations. And rather than run my own production facility, I actually outsource production.
Under pressure from Kenneth, Arlene remained calm, but he again pressed her for the bottom line.
I don't know if I missed it in one of the slides, but there wasn't a quantifiable number of what you need in effect to get to the next stage of where you're going.
I'll mention that now, because what I'd mentioned before was primarily looking at buyers and partners.
Yeah.
Based on the financing that I have now, I could finance my conservative figures with the company now. In terms of partners, there would be a couple of options. As I said, once you outsource, it's just a matter of financing that order quantity. So one type of partnership that I could have in a 12-month period that would allow me to export a larger quantity than I have is basically order financing. I feel great. My presentation to the judges went well, I think. I was pleased with the way I presented and bringing information across. So I'm happy. And one of the things is it's over and it's on to, the next part of it, whatever that is for me, whether it's incorporating feedback or moving on to the next phase. But I think it went well.
When the pitches were finished, the judges deliberated the merits of each candidate.
We're going to start with biotech.
It had some innovative strengths, and I rated them highly for that.
The marketing of the product was a little bit on the weak side.
Arlene Martin?
Chris questioned this during her actual presentation, which is why her units were so low. And given that initially when she mentioned that they were so low, I thought that it was related to the fact that she might be positioning at a higher price niche level. But then when she exposed her pricing, it was relatively economical. So it suggested that she was not confident about her own ability to penetrate the market.
Brian Walks, some of his analyses I don't agree with in terms of the demand.
Ridge Farms?
Within the remit of getting into Europe, she may not fit the bill, but I think she'll be a success.
I felt that what she gave us in terms of samples was innovative.
Good. Who is the budding entrepreneur that will go through to the next round? The nutraceutical research manager with a uniquely Jamaican product? The committed fashion designer with an eye on Europe? The Gyprock manufacturer looking to bridge relationships? Or the high-energy condiments producer who wants to deliver fresh? Find out next week who will be going through to London on Breakpoint. Here is the contact information for each of the firms represented in today's show. We wish all our firms every success with their business.
Liat, the Caribbean airline.